Hi everyone. Just checking all of this is working. I have a new system. Oh, it's working great. All right, and as you can tell, I've got a new backdrop. Let me just check. This is good. I've got links there. I can see comments. All right. All right, it's Tuesday chat time, guys. I'll wait for everyone to get on a little bit. There we go. All right, we're starting to get some people. Let me know you can hear me. This is a new laptop I'm on. And hi, Audrey. So I'm just hoping the sound and everything's good. The picture looks good to me. And I'm in my caravan. I've shut all the doors. Hi, Jennifer and Odette as well. Yep, sounds good. Awesome. Great. So, yeah, I've shut everything off because, of course, if you've been following along with some of my little reels and posts, I'm traveling for 2 months. I've been teaching a couple of workshops along the way. I'm hoping to teach a couple more. Well, we're in South Australia at the moment and then into Victoria to head back home. But yes, we've met up with the kids and the grandkids, so I've locked myself in here to try and avoid distractions because they can be pretty noisy. All right, who else? Julie's on, Holly's on, Amy, awesome. Maureen, oh hi Maureen in Florida, and Karen, of course, is over there too, in New York, I think, or around that area. I can never remember where some of my Creative Barn members, they're from all over the world. But in the US, there's a few, and they're all in different areas, like from one side to the other. So, all right. Okay, so yes, I haven't done a Tuesday chat for a few weeks, so I'm feeling a bit rusty. Oh, Jenny's on as well. All right, I need to stop looking at comments. You can. I've got a few questions for you today, so you can add those in the comments as we're going. But like I said, I'm haven't done a Tuesday chat for a few weeks because, of course, we had Christmas and New Year's, and then last week I was teaching a workshop at Broken Hill, which was so much fun. It was only small, but it was quite intimate. So everyone really opened up a lot. I think in a smaller group, sometimes people feel, art is kind of therapy, isn't it? So I think in those smaller groups, people open up a little bit more and talk about probably things a little bit deeper, maybe than a larger group where everyone's there having fun. Well, not that everyone's having fun in any group, but yeah, so I was busy with that. And then I was lucky enough, I had a reporter from, or journalist from the Broken Hill Times. I shared that as well. And she did a little write up about art for mental health, I suppose. So, yeah, that was really exciting. So, I've been having lots of fun. And if you, like I said, if you've been following, you've seen we've been in some beautiful places. We're in the York Peninsula in South Australia at the moment. So, pretty much just beach hopping along the way. So, all right. Hi, Bev and Louisa as well. Awesome. Now, I need to get my notes up here. So, as some of you guys know, it is the start of the year. I open the doors to the Creative Barn Premium tier. And whenever I do that, I always run a challenge or a coaching week, whatever you want to call it. This one I'm calling a challenge, and I run that for a week, and then the doors to the membership are open for 2 weeks. So the premium tier of the Creative Barn, I don't have that open all year round. It's only open twice a year, and that's because there is so much that goes on inside, and I like to get to know all of the students pretty well personally. Actually, we do a lot of live sessions, so I don't like people sort of in and out of that premium tier. That's why it's kind of not exclusive, but yeah, it's just only open a few times, and that way I can keep on top of it, and really we all get to know each other really well. And I can then make sure on the coaching side, if anyone reaches out, I can help them. I know exactly where they are on their journey. So that's why. But it's always fun to open the doors because we do these challenges, and they're a lot of fun. Even if you don't join the membership, it is cool. But I get so much great feedback. I've been doing these now for 3 years, I think, twice a year. So I I'm not great at promoting it. So we only ended up with 100 or so people in there. But again, it's a great group, and it's a great way for you to get started in soft pastels, but also to to share and meet other like-minded people and all the rest of it. So it's always good fun. So today's Tuesday chat, I'll get to that. I want to talk about challenges, and in particular the Soft Pastel Week challenge. Okay, so I think participating in a challenge like the Soft Pastel Week one, it can really ignite your creativity. And at the start of the year, I think it's the perfect time to sort of jump in and get inspired. So the start of the year, I suppose not everyone's the same, but I always feel it's like a new year, new energy type of thing, if you know what I mean. So, and a great way to sort of get into that new year is to challenge yourself with something. So whether you're a goal setter or not, doesn't really matter. It's just a good time to start something new. Or if you've been putting things off, like it's a great time to again get back into your art. Or if you've had a slump, as artists we go through these stages where we're just couldn't be bothered. I know life takes over, doesn't it? And it's hard to get back into it. So it's a good time as if you're already an artist to get back into it as well. Hi Maya and Kate and Kim and Vicky. So yeah, so I think the start of the year is great, and I love doing challenges as well. So whether they don't have to be a challenge like this. Like I know throughout the year there's all different challenges. Like there's Inktober, that's in October. Um, there's all different ones. Just look up if you just Google challenges, if you're drawing challenges. But it's not just about participating in a challenge. Um, you could give yourself a challenge of starting a new medium, or trying a different subject, or I've been challenging myself a little bit, I suppose, last year. We do creative play in the membership, in the premium tier. Every week we do a Zoom session where we all just get together and on Zoom and do our own thing, but we're together and chatting and holding ourselves accountable, I suppose. But for a few of those, I was experimenting with watercolors and inks on pastels, on not sorry on not on pastel on pastel matte paper, to sort of see how it would react with different other mixed mediums. And yeah, so that is a challenge in itself. So it doesn't have to be participating in a challenge online or something, but just challenging yourself to do things and experiment. That's the best part, I think, is learning something new. So hold on, I've got a question here. Are you able to put a little swatch of the pencil colours by the name? It's hard to compare to other brands. What I do have, Alexandra, is when the challenge starts. So what Alexandra's saying is I shared, oh, if you've already signed up for Soft Pastel Week, I've got a list of all the colours that are used for all four tutorials. I'll show you those in a minute. But I didn't put a colour swatch next to each pencil. But Alexandra, when the challenge actually starts, I release an equipment list just for that one. So let me just show you here. Hold on, I need to move that for a second. Okay, so say let's go with the feathers. Okay, so on the day the feathers are released, the tutorial, you'll get a new equipment list that is just for those feathers, and that one has the color, it has a swatch next to it. Okay, so I decided it was easier to do it that way than to do a swatch for everything in the full list. But I also decided there's no huge rush for you to get these done if you join Soft Pastel Week, because you have lifetime access to these. So, but yeah, so you'll get a color swatch each morning of the tutorial release. So I've just, because I'm in the caravan, I do have my pencils here, but I can't really print anything or do that sort of stuff. So unfortunately, if I was at home, I probably could have, but yeah, sorry. But yeah, on each day you'll get that. Okay, and then you can just color match to whatever you have, and it doesn't matter if it's not exactly the same. It's more learning the technique than worrying about the color, and it's more about getting those values correct. So your dark to light. So you could do those feathers all in pink if you wanted, and they'd still look cool, as long as you got your values correct. Okay, so don't worry too much about the colors. Okay, so what I've been doing with challenges, so like I said, I think throughout the year we all give ourselves little challenges, but it's a good way, step out your comfort zone straight away, do things scared. That's what I always try and do. So give yourself a challenge that you know you'll be able to do, but it's putting you out of your comfort zone a little bit, but it's not too hard that it's too out of reach. So there's like a fine line, I suppose, when you're doing a challenge, because there's nothing worse than thinking you're going to do a challenge and then you don't finish it, or you wane off, and then you get a bit down on yourself and a little bit hard on yourself. So you don't want that to happen, because then that's not a good way to start the year. Okay, so I've been giving myself, hold on, Amy's got a question. I'll be releasing the reference pictures and the line art each morning, Amy, during the challenge. Okay, so I'll run through the challenge a bit more, like the Soft Pastel Week challenge a little bit more, a bit later. Okay, so I just wanted to share what I've been doing while I've been traveling, because usually at home I've got all my painting supplies and my easels and my desk, and it's comfortable. I've got my own studio, so I'll be working on, of course, the Creative Realm membership tutorials, but I'll also be doing some of my own stuff and my own paintings as well, so that aren't going to be a tutorial. Like, I've got a exhibition coming up in 2026 that I'm trying to get paintings done, but of course while I'm on the road I can't do that. So I did bring some papers and some pastels with me, but I decided I could do a little sketchbook. It's really tiny. So this was my little challenge to myself, to try and sketch every day, one a day. But so I started in charcoal, but as you can see, they're all upside down. It's a bit messy, and the book is really tiny, so charcoal is not great. So I went across and I've started doing graphite pencil. Okay, and I haven't done one a day, I must admit. But I'm not gonna say that's a failure, because I'm still doing them. I'm trying to do one a day. I did a little train yesterday. So what I'm doing is, some of them are, if I'm just like the little beach scene, I was just sitting and drawing, sort of plein air, I suppose. Others I've been using, like I've been taking photos while we're traveling, so I've been at night I'll just go back through on my phone and bring up a photo and then I just sketch from the photo. So I'm freehand sketching, because that was my challenge to myself. I think it's a great way to keep, just add to the journey, like the travel adventure I'm on, so I can look back on these later. But the challenge more is I'd like to improve my drawing skills better, because I do use the line art quite a bit. Unless I'm working really large, then I'll still use a projector or a scale tool. But I wanted to improve just my freehand, like that whole hand-eye coordination and seeing the shapes and seeing the values and seeing the lines. So we do every week as well in the membership. In the premium tier, we do a gesture drawing half hour, and I really love it. So I thought I would continue that with this sketching idea. So that's my challenge. I'm not hard on myself that I have to do one every single day, but if I've missed a day, I'll make sure I'm doing one the next day, even if I'm sitting up at night, doing it rather than actually during the day. And yeah, I'm hoping by the end of this few weeks, I hope to continue it all year actually, but and it can be anything. I just go outside and sketch a rock if that's all I've got to look at. But I'm hoping my drawing, well, it will. I don't need to hope. I know for a fact the more you draw, the better you get. So over the course of even just these 2 months, I think my drawing skills will improve. And I'll probably notice that every week in our gesture drawing session, that I'm finding it easier. And it's all about seeing with sketching. That's what comes easier, seeing the shapes, seeing the lines, seeing the values. Okay. Hold on, I'll just check this. Oh, hi Elaine and Farley. Good to see you got here. So we're just talking about challenges and why they're good, for the year, like to kickstart your year. Okay, so all right, I wanted to ask you a question as well. You can I'm gonna ask a couple of questions. I think it's nice for you guys to actually comment something as well. So have you participated in a challenge before? I know some of you have, in my challenges. And let me know how it helped you. And if you hate them, if you love them. So just put in the comments if you've ever participated in one and if you've liked it, or yeah, you can go into detail about if it's helped you as well. Okay, so I'll keep an eye on the comments. All right. So to why, more or less, you ask yourself why participate in a challenge, and okay, it gives you structure, and like I said before, it's not just about learning, it's about committing to showing up for yourself as well and your art. So, and that structure can be all you need to actually take action. So it's also, it can be really easy to put our art on that back burner. Like I said, life always gets in the way, always. And I think, of course, not all of us are women watching this, but I do believe that women quite often, because especially if we've had kids and raised a family and all the rest, we've always put our family in front of us. So that's why our art or our hobbies always get thrown on that back burner. So it's a good way to put your art in front of some other things when you take a challenge, because you can say to everyone around you and yourself, no, I'm doing this challenge, I have to show up. So it keeps you accountable, and it also surrounds you with community of like-minded people, and they're there to cheer you on. So and that kind of support is invaluable, and again, that's a huge part of the membership as well, is the community and the support. So all right, I'm gonna see some of these answers here. Oh, Amy, you did the 100 heads portrait. That's a big challenge. And yeah, you found it easy, not easy but good, to ensure that it gave you something to draw when you had that artist block. So Kim, it's your first challenge. Awesome. Catherine, I'm glad the tutorials have helped as well. Inktober, yeah. I think also, yeah, a challenge because you're being told what to draw. Like Inktober's a good one. Oh, the 100 head challenge is a beauty as well. But Inktober, they just give you, I think it's just a word, isn't it? Or maybe a sentence. Um, and it's up to you to come up with your own ideas on what that means. So, oh, Louisa did the Border Collie challenge, yeah. A lot of people got hooked on that one, Louisa. Um, so, all right, and step by step learning is kind of also why participating in the challenges is great. So, um, like more or less like what Amy just said, um, giving us something to draw. So sometimes art can be overwhelming, like when you're thinking of creating a painting or something. You know, you have all these, oh, what am I going to paint, and where do I start, and all the rest of it's that fear of that blank canvas, of course. Everyone's heard of it, and everyone's probably felt it. But a challenge sort of breaks things down into manageable steps as well. So, um, like with the Soft Pastel Week, each day you'll have to focus on a different texture. Okay, you don't have to wonder what you're going to do next. Same with just a normal drawing challenge. You've got a word or a sentence that you have to work from. So it gives you that thing to go with. You don't have to just pick something totally random out of the air. So I also find in all my tutorials, especially for beginners, I try and break the process right down into small steps. So that way you don't get overwhelmed by the whole drawing, and it eliminates that fear of the blank page, because before you know it, the steps, you don't get like transferring the line art, doing the background, all of that sort of stuff. You've kind of gotten rid of the blank canvas because you're halfway done your drawing before you even get into the more challenging sections of the animal, of like doing the getting your values right and getting that realistic look happening. So it sort of eliminates that, and having that step by step, and everything I draw, even my own drawings, I follow exactly the same process. So it's always just step by step, and I usually only work for about an hour at a time, because that's why when I did these workshops, the people who attend my workshops, they're amazing, because they will draw a whole painting in one sitting, essentially. It goes from 9 till 2, and that's 5 hours of drawing, really. Um, we have a little bit of break, I suppose, but yeah, I don't know if I could sit there that long and draw. So they good on them. All right. So hold on, I'm just gonna read a couple of comments here. What has Holly got? We just said everything I wanted to say. I did the challenge, the dog with the last time. Yeah, sometimes I do different challenges. Like sometimes when we do a challenge week or a coaching week, they're more of a coaching week, I suppose, because we do one animal. Like I've been doing dogs a bit, and over the course of the week we draw the dog live. I just didn't want to do a live drawing one while I'm traveling because I thought it would be a bit tricky. So that's why we're doing these texture ones instead this time. But yeah, the same thing. We break the dog down into steps, and we do it over like 4 live sessions. And by the end of it, you've finished a dog, and you're like, wow, I didn't know I could do that. So, um, Alison, you haven't done any of my challenges, but you made your own challenge last year and did a line and wash of a building we saw as we travelled for 13 weeks. Made a book of 30 odd line and wash sketches. That's amazing. Yeah, so that's sort of similar to what I'm trying to do with these sketches. So I know I feel like when you're traveling, you need to keep things compact. So a line and wash, like you said, I'm just doing graphite. Um, but I think it really adds to the experience because when we're drawing, we're seeing the subject in way more detail. Like we always say, artists see things differently. We see the finer details of things. Like we'll stop and really take in the subject or the colors, whereas a lot of other people will just go through life and not even notice any of that. So we're pretty lucky as artists, and I think sketching while you're traveling is a great way to go as well. Gay, you've done several pastel challenges and they've been good to get motivated and build some skills. Yeah, and to keep going too. So so this why the start of the year is because January is full of fresh energy. Like I said, it's a blank canvas. We all seem to, like, even if you don't set goals, it just always feels like a blank canvas. You're ready to go. It's a whole new year. So, what better way to start it than doing something creative? And it also might set the tone for your creativity or your artistic journey over the year by making sure, like, you might get into a routine and be able to keep building momentum. So even though you might just do a challenge or my challenge, it might get you hooked and you might decide to set that creative habit. Like whatever time you set aside for a challenge, you can then start to do your own work in that same time. Like keep that time sacred. So it's important. I always tell my students they should put time aside as though they've got a doctor's appointment, say. So, if you've booked a doctor's appointment or a dentist or something like that, you make sure you go to it, don't you? Because, it's like you're either sick or you've got a toothache or whatever. But it's important. You set it aside and you go to it. So if you struggle to find time with your art, then maybe do that yourself. Like put it in like as an appointment so that the rest of your family know, no, I've got an appointment. Even if you're still in the house doing your art, you might not even have a studio. But setting that time is very important. So also with a challenge as well, it can reignite your passion. So if you're feeling very uninspired, so starting the year with a challenge can help you reconnect with your love of art. So it's like about falling in love with that process again. Then you can sort of, like I said, go into, so after the challenge you could then go into subjects that you love. So you could be motivated. We sometimes cross this in the membership as well. When you're sort of feeling flat or you've just lost your mojo, I suppose. I always say try and draw something you love. Like, so in the Creative Barn, of course, all the tutorials are wildlife and nature. So we it's not just animals, but it's the majority is animals. But you might not feel inspired to draw animals. You might want to draw a truck or a train or something like that. So whatever inspires you is what I always encourage them. Just go and find something that you just really want to draw. Like could even be your own animal, your own dog or cat, something like that. But so after your challenge, to keep that momentum going, try and do something that you really, really are inspired to do. Here we go. Cynthia, your last Soft Pastel Week. Okay, the comments keep moving. Was your first challenge? So interesting seeing a pic of all the completed dogs together. Yeah, that's true. I'll do the same this time as well. We'll put usually do a montage of the finished work, and it's pretty cool to see. What's Farley got? It's like a gym, a new year resolution, turning the first page with brand new motivation. Yep, definitely. Louisa had a slump last year, but you're back into it, starting with this challenge. Perfect. See, that's exactly what I'm trying to explain here. Um, yeah, it's just, I don't know, a new year, fresh start, and a challenge is a brilliant way to get into it. Um, so, also, of course, looking at your progress throughout the week, throughout a challenge, um, it's good to see what you've accomplished, and that kind of can motivate and is satisfying as well. Um, so, that sense of satisfaction can help keeping you motivated to go forward with either more challenges or more art. Just it's good to feel good, isn't it? So that's why I said don't be too hard on yourself if you don't get things finished. It's like trying to lose weight. You've just got to jump back on that wagon when you go off it, which I do a lot. So, but I try not to be too hard on myself because, you know, what is the point? All right, another question here. What is one thing you're hoping to achieve with your art this year? This is a pretty deep question, isn't it? So it could be if you're a beginner, just getting started, maybe learning if you're interested in soft pastels or any medium for that matter. It could be learning a new medium. It could be entering an art competition. It could just be improving your drawing skills like mine. So let me know what's one thing you're hoping to achieve with your art this year. All right. So now I'm going to talk more about the actual challenge. So the Soft Pastel Week Safari Challenge, I've decided we're going to do 4 techniques, okay? And they're realist, like I paint in realism, not hyper realism, but realistic enough. So the challenge, I've done one before, right at the start, we did 4 different techniques as well. So it's suitable for total beginners or if you're looking to refine your skills. It's always good to learn from other artists all the time because they might have a little hint or tip that you didn't know, and you can pick up on that and steal it. So you'll come away with 4 beautiful drawings, pieces of art. I even chose ones that would look good together. So with the colours are kind of similar. So I'll show you the 4 of them. Just let me move this so I can see my screen. There we go. Make sure. Okay. All right. So this is the Soft Pastel Week challenge. So there's the 4 different like animal elements, textures, whatever you want to call them. So we're going to start with the owl eye. Then we're moving to these pigeon feathers. Believe it or not, this is a pigeon with those colours. Then we move to the little croc nose, and then we move to tiger fur. So where the textures are like the eye, like drawing an eye. Everyone loves to draw an eye. You can't do a challenge without having an eye. The feathers to create depth. There's a lot, and they're quite smooth. So the texture's there. Then skin. I've chose a croc nose, but it's similar to like elephant skin. Okay, so just a skin of an animal, and then of course we have to have fur or hair. There is no animal texture without that, really. Okay, so they're the 4, but as you can see, I've put them together, and when you join the Safari challenge, you'll see I've got a little thing on how to set your paper out. But you don't have to. You could just use scrap, single pieces. They're only 10 centimeters square. So, but I did pick ones that would match and look nice together, color wise, if you did want to put it together like this in a frame. Okay, so it still looks really cool together. Okay, so they're the 4 textures we are going to be learning. Just hold on, let me check. Everyone's answering my questions. It's cool. More commissions and shows. Good one, Holly. And just, yeah, general improvement. Louisa, reigniting your love for pastels and drawings. That's a good one. And Catherine, committing time. Yes. Amy wants to do commissions and exhibiting as well. Commissions is such a great way to sort of earn some money as a wildlife or animal artist, but it's also a great way to keep you motivated because you'll have a deadline and you've got to do it. So I always tell everyone I need a month to do a commission, and then I usually do it the last week. So, can we have more time for your art? Karen, no, pigeons don't look like that around here. No, we don't have fancy pigeons in Australia either. That is a Nicobar pigeon from India. So yeah, no, our pigeons are pretty boring. I think New Zealand as well might have them. All right. Is there anywhere to gauge on prices for commission work? We do, Vicky. I don't know if you're in the membership. In the premium tier, we do talk a lot about pricing and all different things like that. There's a standard. It depends. Commissions are hard because if you're first starting out and all of that, you don't want to charge as much. But I always say don't undersell yourself as well. There is in Australia, there's I can't even remember what it's called now. It's like a website. I think it's government or something, and they give you kind of an idea on what artists should charge as an hourly rate, and it's around $50 an hour. But of course, as an hourly rate, that when you're talking about pricing, as you're getting better, you can be a lot quicker. So an hourly rate sometimes doesn't work. Otherwise, you could charge a per inch, inch square rate. I always sort of try and tell my students don't sort of, don't undercharge. I would think as a beginner, something A4, you definitely wouldn't want to charge less than say 200, 250, something like that. But again, it also depends on the medium. If you're doing charcoal, it's quicker. If you're doing pastel, it's slower. You got to take into account your prices. Is it framed? That price would not be framed. There's a lot to it. You could try and be honest with yourself at where your level of art is, and try and maybe research on Google other artists or other artists doing pet portrait commissions that are at the same level that you think you're at. Okay, so I wouldn't go and look at well-known artists that their work is absolutely brilliant if yours isn't, and price the same as them. So try and figure out where you are at your art level and try and look up what other people are charging. But I know don't take into account people that are charging $50 for a portrait. That's ridiculous. Okay, so it's a hard one, but and you'll also find if you've got, say if you're charging $250 unframed, and you're starting to get quite a few people lined up, like you've got a wait list, then you can put your price up, and then you can slowly put your price up to where people start to drop off, and then sort of maybe that's where you sit for a little while, and your prices will go up as you get better, or you'll make more money if you do an hourly rate, because your hourly rate will still be that, but you'll be a lot quicker at it. Okay, so instead of say you're $50 an hour, say you're charging, and it takes you 10 hours to do a painting, so you're charging $500. But maybe as you get better, you're still charging $50, but it's only taking 5 hours to do the painting. So essentially, you're making $100 an hour. But so think There's not really a set thing for it. Okay, Jennifer, you're going to reframe some of your pieces. So you have framers grade materials. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We did learn a lot in the creative barn, thanks to Odette, who is a framer, and she shared a lot of her tips and techniques for us. Yeah, good idea, Holly. Say a week longer when you're doing commissions. Then people, I've had my own signwriting business for 25 years, so you learn to, people are happier. Like if you give them a longer time frame, then when you phone them and you're early on that, you're like a week early. People love you. You know, they think you're the greatest. But if you tell them too short a time, and then you have to phone and say, "Oh, I still haven't finished it," then they're going to be angry. So that's it. The NAVA code of practice. Thanks, Amy. That's what I was thinking of. So if you look up the NAVA code, it's really confusing because I think it's government. So, but yeah, it might help you. It might give you an idea of an hourly price, but it's very hard to charge that. I think it's more for if you're doing, like, if you've been commissioned to do a mural or something. It's a way to help you figure out pricing. So, okay. All right, what else? I showed you what we're doing. Okay, so yeah, we're doing a eagle, owl, eye, knickerbocker, pigeon, crocodile, and tiger. Also, let me know. One more question. Oh, look, Amy's even got the link for you, Vicky. That's amazing. Thanks so much, Amy. I know that I have got that in the Creative Barn premium tier, but I just couldn't remember what it was called. Out of the four textures here, let me know which one you're keen to do. Okay, is it the eye, the feathers? I think the feathers I like the best. The croc nose was cool too, but yeah, let me know which one you think would be the one you're really looking forward to doing. Okay, so also we so how the Safari challenge is going to work is each day, well, not each day, on we've got four tutorials, so they're pre-recorded. They'll be re-released on day 2, day 3, day 4. We're having a break day, catch-up day. Day 5 and day 6. They're the days the tutorials are getting released, and I'll send you all an email in the morning. And they'll be, when you sign up, you get you get access to the module, and that's where everything will be released. And that module is where you have lifetime access. You can log into my website anytime, in 6 months, a year, whenever, and go back through it if you want. Okay, so that is where the tutorials will be. And then we also are we've got a pop-up Facebook group, and that is where I'm going to go live every morning to share any like tips, tricks, talk about some mindset stuff, answer any questions that I've received, or you can come on live and ask questions as we're going. So each morning I'll be doing that, except for our catch-up day. That's our break day. So that essentially, you sign up, you get the module, and then you get access to the pop-up Facebook group that'll just be open throughout the challenge. But everything, even the live recordings, will all go into that module. Okay, so it doesn't matter what time zone you're in. You'll be able to access it whenever you want. Okay, so like I said, you have lifetime access to all of that, and it's only $5 US, so about $7.50 Australian, I think. I know our dollar, I think, is pretty crap at the moment. I'm not sure, but it always changes. And if you end up joining the Creative Barn Premium tier after the challenge, then I'll give you that $5 back as credit towards when you join. Okay, let me just see what's everyone wanting to draw here. The pigeon feathers. Because you're bad at doing feathers. Oh, okay, Amy. Yeah, the croc nose will be good for you if you like to draw frogs. They're a little bit rougher texture, but still good. The eye. Farley's taking a break from feathers. Yeah, the colours are in the feathers are amazing, Maureen. Adet loves doing eyes, eye. Yeah, I think the eye and feathers could be the most popular. Okay, I just need to check the time here. I can ramble, as you've probably noticed. Okay, so the other thing, if you join Soft Pastel Week, um, if you get a chance to win 6 months free membership to the premium tier. So that's valued at a few $100s. And all you need to do, Chloe is like my right hand man when it comes to helping with the challenges. So she's going to keep a track of all your work inside the Facebook group. So all you need to do to be in the challenge, in the prize draw thing, is you have to have a go at all four. So you don't have to finish all four, but you've got to at least started it and upload that into the Facebook group. And if you don't know how to upload into the Facebook group, you can just message me or email me, and I'll make sure you go in the draw as well. Okay, so of course Chloe's going to keep track of our people uploading throughout the week, but essentially at the end of the week, I'll get you to upload all four that you've had a go at. Even if you don't have the right pastels, you could have a go at it in graphite pencil if that's all you've got, and you'll still get entered into the draw. Okay, and then on the last day, I'll draw the winner who gets 6 months free inside the barn. So when you first sign up, you get the schedule, the full equipment list to cover all four of those drawings, and like the paper setup guide. And then when each tutorial is released that morning, you'll then get the equipment list just for that one, and that has the color swatch with it. Now, my biggest thing is always paper. Try and do it on pastel. I've done mine on pastel matte. Try and do it on pastel matte, or the new Canson Velvet would be alright, or any of the sanded pastel papers are fine as well. Okay, so that's that bit. Hold on. Alright, we're getting there. So alright, I think that's just about it. If you've got any other questions, let me know. But just remember, it's not just a challenge, it's the way to kickstart your art and your creativity for the year, and also of course connect with amazing community of like-minded people. And I'll guarantee you'll be proud of what you create if you follow along to the tutorials. I've been doing it long enough that I know that it really is a huge thing for people to be able to follow step by step, and that you'll be really proud and pleased with your outcome. Okay, and you've just got to make sure you give yourself time. Each tutorial's about an hour and a half, but you'll be able to pause it, of course, because I find I've been doing it a bit longer probably, so I'm a bit quicker. So you might need to pause and do a bit of catch up. But yeah, like I said, you have lifetime access, so it's not a big deal. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Okay, but if you manage to put aside the time throughout the week, you'll come away with the 4 beautiful finished textures, and you'll be loving it, and hopefully it'll give you that confidence to keep going as well. Okay, so the challenge starts this Friday. Is it Friday? I think so. I've got Friday written here. The 17th, pretty sure that was it. So the first day is, I'm just going to do a welcome in the pop-up group, and I'll go through everything in much more detail. And then the Saturday morning is when the first tutorial will be released. Okay. So Starts Friday, so the door, you can only join up until it starts, essentially. I might leave the doors open for a couple of days, but so there is a time frame. You need to get onto it if you haven't joined yet. If you have already joined, thank you, and I can't wait to get started on it. So it is easy to join. If you haven't, I've got links in the chat here. So just follow that link, and like I said, it's only $5 US to join, and it's a good way to prioritize your art and your creative journey for the year. Also, if you are already a member of either the premium or essentials tier of the Creative Barn, this is free. You don't need to join, okay? The challenges are always free to any members, any existing members, okay? So for those that are watching that are already a member, I did send you an email last week with the link to the Facebook group, and also when you log into your into the membership site, you'll see the Soft Pastel Week module is already in there, okay? So you don't need to sign up to this at all if you're already a member, okay? If you have already signed up and you want your money back, let me know and I'll sort that out, okay? Also, I am running a giveaway where I'm giving away 5 free passes to Soft Pastel Week, and that's just to celebrate. We hit 10,000 followers in my public Facebook group, the Drawing Wildlife and Nature Beginners to Advanced, which is amazing stuff. It's such a great group. So if you want to go in the running to win a free pass to Soft Pastel Week, then it's in that group, and it's also on my Facebook page, which you're probably on if you're watching this, maybe. If you can't find it, just let me know, and I'll draw that in a couple of days. Now, if you've already joined, I will credit you. I'll give you back. I'll refund the $5 if you've already joined Soft Pastel Week and you actually win one of the free passes. I'll be able to find out because it'll have your email address. I will give you a refund. Okay. All right. That's it, I think. So thank you for joining me today. And I hope you're all excited to participate in Soft Pastel Week in the challenge. It's always so much fun, and this is going to be a little bit different for me doing this on the road. But it should be fine. That's why I'm not doing the drawing part of it live, just in case I might have trouble with. Imagine if I'm on Starlink, but imagine if something catastrophic happened and I couldn't get internet and everyone was supposed to be following along with me drawing. So that's why I thought it'd be safer to pre-record those. So looked like this. Is there a particular color you recommend for that paper? I can't remember what. I did it on sand colored pastel matte. I use sand color quite a bit because I like to use a paper color that is kind of in the drawing itself. So with wildlife and nature, sand is like that browny light sand color, which you sort of find that throughout all of nature, really. So I think it was sand. Let me check. Yeah, it is definitely sand. Sand colored is the one I use. But the other thing, when we're totally covering each piece with pastel anyway, so it really doesn't matter. If you can only get anthracite, which is a dark grey, go for it. If you can only get blue, go for it. Oh, the dogs are barking. So just, don't get too hung up on the paper colour, but I used, sand coloured. Okay. All right, guys, I will let you go. And it's been good. This has worked. I'm excited. So I'm very confident that the whole challenge will work. And next Tuesday morning, we'll see. Next Tuesday, the challenge will already have started. So I may not do a Tuesday chat Okay, we'll see, because I'm doing my lives every morning of the challenge, but I'll work it out. I'll let you know if I'm going to be doing a Tuesday chat or not. I'll send out a reminder. If not, then I'll just see you later, and hopefully I'll see you inside Soft Pastel Week. So, all right, bye guys. Thanks for joining me. See ya.